Hello and welcome to the Dream is Real podcast. This is a place if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in New York real estate. Before we get started, like, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going to continue to bring you great content and professionals that work in and around the real estate arena. And today I am with Rachel Yakubov of Credit Lift LLC. Welcome, Rachel. Glad you're here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Credit. It's one of the biggest parts of and most vital parts of getting a real estate transaction done. So
yes, 100%.
I'm sure this will be a great conversation. First, tell us a little bit about you and about Credit Lift LLC.
So my name is Rachel Yakubov. I have been holding Credit Lift LLC for about 7 years, going on 8. And the basis of all of my office is education. I work with attorneys that educate me, and in turn, I educate my clients. So the first conversation that I usually have with my clients is, what can I do? How much does it cost? And what's the time frame? First step, it's always a consult. I have to see your damage. Your damage is different from everybody else's.
Everybody's different, right?
Everybody comes to do a consult. It's free. You have no harm in doing that. We do it virtually. We do it in person. We do Zoom. We do FaceTime. It doesn't matter. I do nationwide. And I educate them. Listen, you have rights. When somebody calls you and leaves you a message and they don't say who they're calling from, that's a violation. They have to state who they are. You take the recording, you call them back, and you say, hey, listen, who are you calling for? What are you calling in regards to? Tape every single phone call. They can say something deceptive. You never know the situation. But we file lawsuits against credit bureaus. We file lawsuits against collection agencies. We do the full 360. Anything that we could do to help our clients.
Wow, awesome. Let's step back for one moment. I'd love to hear how you got into the industry itself, because I hear the passion in your voice around helping people in this area. And if you're willing to share, how did you get into the industry?
I was a victim. I was a victim of somebody that ruined my credit. And I didn't know what to do. And I was getting served paperwork. Thank God nobody took the paperwork. My brother actually opened the door, and he was like 12. He's like, you can't leave it. She doesn't live here anymore. And I ended up finding the attorney that helps my clients currently. And he helped me. And I won every single lawsuit. And the funny part about all of this was I didn't have to pay $1. My attorney got paid by the other side. Really? I think it was Discover's attorneys, whoever Discover had at the time, and Citibank. Yeah, their attorneys were the ones that paid my attorney. Consumers don't pay for attorneys.
Do you feel like consumers just don't know their rights in this arena?
They don't know it.
Wow, and then they just get
bombarded,
and they make mistakes too, right?
Yeah.
There are things that you can do that'll actually put you at a disadvantage when it comes to credit.
I have clients like right now. Just before I came here, my client got sued by 2 collection agencies, and I told him exactly what he has to do, and it was 10 minutes from here.
So, in relation to the home buying process, I mean, without good credit, it's very, very difficult.
That's why I say before you go into contract, if you know your credit is bad, take that time ahead of hand, get your ducks in a row, learn about what you need to do to fix it, and figure out what you have to do in the home mortgage process of it. Everything comes hand in hand. It could all be done at the same time.
Yeah, I think a big part of the process with credit is one, is very personal, right?
It is. It is.
And there's fear involved, and a lot of times fear for us is, I don't know what I don't know, so I just want.
Or I've been burned.
Yeah.
So I asked my customer, "Have you tried to fix your credit before?" They're all like, "Yeah, I was referred to somebody." Okay, you were referred. But like sometimes people get referral fees. But did you actually look into the company?
Oh, sure.
Before you gave the money? No, I didn't. And then I asked them, who did you go to? And I'm reading them all of these bad reviews from the Better Business Bureau, from the CFPB, the FTC. It's crazy what goes on there. They take the money, they disappear. If anybody asks you for money, my number one rule: if anybody asks you for money up front or the full amount, run, run. Don't look back. You're doing yourself a safety net.
That's very prevalent in the industry. How do you overcome that?
You have to have some faith. You have to feel comfortable that you're talking to somebody that's been there and that knows exactly what they're doing.
Hi, my name is Tyrone. I'm the owner and trainer here at Fly Fitness. We work with children of all ages, sports-specific training, soccer, basketball, lacrosse, football, You name it, we do it here. We also work with the beginner, the person that has never been in the gym before. We get you from point A, point B, and we take you through the alphabet of training. We also do rehab, ankles, back, knees, shoulders. The older we get, the more fragile we are. So those things that I just mentioned, those are things that we're definitely going to need help with. That's what we specialize in here at Fly Fitness. Come and join us.
So on the flip side, you obviously know what you're doing. You seem to care tremendously about the client itself. How do you overcome the perception? Because you're correct. I mean, I have come across people who have laid out thousands of dollars and got nothing in return. But I do know also from instances of talking with people that working with the right professional, you can not only repair your credit, your credit score could be higher than you ever imagined. So how do you overcome that hurdle of the perception of some of the seedier parts of the industry?
So the reviews are a very big portion of it. The number one thing that I did do was get accredited by the Better Business Bureau, which was tough. I do a lot of events, so I'm out there. I've been out there. I travel. We go to Atlantic City. I'm going to South Carolina very soon. We go to Florida a lot, Texas. I make myself known and out there. I don't just sit behind a screen. I actually take the time to do a consult and talk to my clients. I can give you an example. I met a woman that was down in Florida, and she has been putting me out there. She has stores. She talks to her friends. And again, it is word of mouth, but she showed them results. The results don't lie. It's all numbers.
Sure.
You have to make that relationship with your clients. You have to be on top of your clients like white on rice. They have to feel like you really care about them, that you make them a priority, that their issues matter. And I do.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a collaborative effort when you begin working
100%.
with the client. It's not just, hey, here's my credit bureaus and magically make everything go away. That's not necessarily the case. There are often things that the individual will have to do, but you'll guide them on that.
It's 50-50. I could tell you what needs to happen. I can schedule the appointments for you if we have to make phone calls to collection agencies, or if we, like if I send out mail, specific mail, let's say for a cease and desist, you have to let me know if you're getting text messages, if you're getting emails, if you're getting mail. That mail, that email, that text message can save you thousands of dollars.
Sure. By either responding or not responding.
No, don't respond at all. Just get the black and white. Get that recording, get that text message, get that mail, send it over to me. I'll tell you if it's important, what we're doing with it. I give you the information that you need for every single item that you receive. But you have to let me know. You don't wait until I text you or I call you. Hey, listen, did you get any mail for the month? You have to let me know the moment that you receive it. That mail is your savior. Sure. That mail is what's going to help you fix your credit. Do not throw out your mail. You don't throw it out until you show it to me and I tell you what to do with it next.
In the digital age, a lot of people don't pay attention to snail mail like they used to.
I don't care if there's anything not on the envelope. You open the envelope, you take a look at it.
You feel like the creditors use snail mail to that degree for that reason, because it's easy to slip in and say, hey, look, we've been corresponding?
Yep. That's why everything gets certified mail in my office. It is tracked. It is traced. There's no electronic in my office. Everything gets done by paper. Huh. The old-fashioned way. It sounds old-fashioned, but that's what works. That's what gets me where I need to be for each one of my clients. If you don't live in New York, there's no way that I'm mailing out your mail. I'm mailing you your mail in Georgia. You're going to go to the post office. It's already paid for, and you're going to mail. We do everything the right way in my office. Huh. We don't play. We know that people spend a lot of money to fix their credit sometimes. It just depends on their situation. Or we know that they've had a difficult situation in the past with somebody that they've used. But we're very straightforward. And again, the education is the first step in our process. We have to let them know, hey, listen, you're getting sued. Or, we sent a cease and desist and you can't do anything at this point. We're going to literally sue them. You don't owe the attorney any money. He is going to get this done for you.
As far as let's go to the education piece, right? You talk about having a consult right off the bat. What does that consultation consist of?
The credit reports. We have to see your credit, all 3 bureaus. We provide it free in our office. We have a website for it, a link. It's in our website, and clients don't pay for it. We literally give them all 3 bureaus, and they can constantly monitor it for however long that they're with us. I don't allow this. Other agencies that I've heard of in the past, they make their clients sign up for it. Why? Because they get residual income from it.
I see.
I don't like to make clients pay for something that I can give them for free. Okay? I collect what I need to collect for their fee. I break it up into a payment arrangement, but my first step is always a consult. It all starts free in my office. I need to see your credit, and then we take the next steps from there. Hey, listen, according to this and that, this is what's holding you back. We need to either pay this down. Settlements are my very last option. My first option is to do the first 2 disputes that I do to catch a violation with the bureaus or with collection agencies, and then bring them to that finish line with actually filing a lawsuit.
Because there are a lot of regulations in place where if the creditor doesn't follow them to the T, then they are somewhat, I don't want to say liable, that's not the right word, but there are, there is a process, and if the process is not adhered to, then that's something that can benefit you and have it removed from the credit report.
I can give you a great example. My client received the 1099 from Discover literally 2 days ago. She sent it to me, and it's still reporting as a balance on the credit report. When you have a 1099, you're paying taxes on that money. It's considered a discharge of debt. So that's a violation. If we disputed it and we're already in a lawsuit and they're like, yeah, we're not removing anything. Well, here's the 1099. You have to remove it.
Right.
It's a violation. You're still reporting the whole exact amount that was already discharged. So there's a lot that goes on in this. It's your mail is the most important thing. When we start your process, your mail, your text messages, your emails are going to get you to that finish line to where you need to be. And they don't know this.
So pay attention to your
Oh
correspondence.
my God, yes.
Let's talk about how credit works, right? Because I think sometimes you have to demystify, because it is confusing, right? I mean, there's a lot of different factors that make up a credit score.
Student loans, cars, repos, foreclosures, inquiries, everything matters. Even the misspelling of your name on your credit report matters.
Right, and there are multiple bureaus, right? And all in their own way report in their own way, right?
Most common question, why is my TransUnion like this and my Equifax like that and my Experian so high? Because they're all different. Anywhere you're going to look, your credit score is different. The most important one is when you as a broker pulls the credit report and sees what's the actual score through FICO.
Sure. So let's talk about the breakdown of what makes up a score, if we can.
Utilization, closed accounts, open accounts. How much are you using? How much are you spending? What are you worth? How much value do you have to your name? What are you not paying for? How old is this account? Every portion matters. The inquiries. Do you have a lot? Do you have a little? Are they associated with accounts? Are they fraudulent? It all matters. That's why when we take a file, we have to break all of those pieces down to the T and explain to the client, hey, listen, this is what's affecting you. You have to pay this down. You'll see if we do nothing else and you just pay this account down, you'll see how much your score is going to change. It's all, hey, listen, this client has all of these accounts, but this client has no accounts. What can we do?
Sure.
But they're husband and wife. Pay down the account, add your wife as an authorized user. Let's play that game of algorithm. What makes up the score?
And a lot of times just a pivot like that, within a couple of weeks, there could be a drastic change.
Huge, and they don't even realize it. How did that happen? Because we did everything we needed to do.
Right.
Even if the account, and 99% of the time this happens, even if the account, the collection gets off your credit report and they're still texting you after cease and desist, guess what? We're going to sue them. You know why? Because they're going to just sell it off to another agency. Every piece matters. We want to make sure that whatever we remove stays off forever.
Right. That's why don't respond, right? Don't respond.
Don't respond. Let me do the responding. You just give me the messages.
So what about the various types of scores, right? You have different Vantage scores. You know,
Right.
I've had people say, "Oh, I'm this on Credit Karma," and that's not always exactly what it's going to be. Even the type of FICO for home buying is different than your regular FICO. So let's jump into that, because there could be a lot of numbers you're dealing with, and depending upon what you're trying to buy, it depends on what actual score you're looking at, right?
100%. It's always that question behind the back of my mind, because I also use Advantage 3.0 because that's all that we can do for our clients. I don't pull credit.
I see.
But
Yeah.
out of experience, I can tell you, hey, listen, we still have to wait, because according to this item or these items on your credit, we need to make sure that they're removed so you are where you need to be. Unfortunately, unless I go and I constantly have the client pulling their credit, that's going to hurt them.
Right.
That's why until we're 100% clear.
So you don't do any hard pulls?
I don't. Why would I do that to them?
That'd be an inquiry, right?
That'd be an inquiry.
And it's interesting. I see a lot of the credit cards now saying, "Oh, soft pull, no hit on your credit," and then I mean that's not always the case, right? And then if you accept it, there's a myriad of things that can happen, right? From
Right.
age of accounts to now that you've accepted it, now they're gonna hard pull you, right?
Yep. That's what it is.
So there's a lot of tactics out there, and you've got to be careful, especially if you're looking to buy, right? Because you making one decision, you can't go into Kohl's, right? Every time you go into, I don't know if I can call that. I'm not trying to call them out, but let's call a department store, right? You go in and you're making a purchase, and if you were to buy it today, if you were to get our card today, you get. It'll be.
Oh, I didn't
$50
realize you're going to pull my credit. But how did you think they were going to do it?
Right.
How did you think you were going to get approved? I get it all the time, every single day. My number one rule, you don't apply for anything while we're fixing your credit. I'll let you know when you're ready.
Are you a homeowner who is looking to expand your home so you have enough space for everything you need in your home? Or do you want to renovate because the interior just doesn't work for your needs anymore? Or are you someone who's looking for a property, but nothing that you've been looking at really fits what you need? Well, my name is Catherine Serrano Sosa. I'm the founder of Rooted Architecture Studio, and I can help you bring those renovations and adjustments to life. At Rooted Architecture Studio, we focus on creating meaningful, inclusive, client-centric designs for homeowners and investors. We walk you through the whole process of designing construction and making sure that you understand what's going on, but take away all the layers so you can sit back and just focus on the deliverables of what we're designing. We make sure that your non-negotiables are integrated and your wants and needs are integrated to the best of our abilities. So if you are looking to do anything that I just discussed, or just have ideas that you might want to talk about what the possibilities may be, give us a call and reach out through social media as well, and we'll be happy to help you. And if you're looking for a new property, make sure to connect with Dream Select Realty. They're the right people to help you find the right property for you and make sure that your needs are integrated. Or if we're renovating, we can all collaborate together to bring that vision to life.
Even just in general, right? What are some good tips around when to open a trade line versus not?
Ask questions. Ask questions. If you're working with me or you're working with any credit repair agency, ask questions. Don't double guess yourself. The best answer to everybody, like we teach our kids, ask questions. Ask before you do it. You don't know how it's going to affect you. If you see your scores at 500s and you're not paying your debt, what makes you think you're going to get approved? It's just common knowledge.
Right.
But if you're going to go and you're going to fix your credit and you're in that iffy position, ask questions.
So for the first-time home buyer that's thinking about getting things going and maybe they don't have a ton of credit, what tips would you give them?
If they don't have a lot of credit, but they're trying to build on what you have.
Okay.
Sometimes quality is over quantity. So let's say you have a Capital One card for $300 and you're not growing with it. The bank wants to see that you're using their credit card and that you're paying it back. So if you're worth $300, but you're only using that $300 for the full month, what makes you think that the bank will increase your limit? No, you have to use the credit card as much as possible and pay it back. My rule, use $300 throughout the week. On Friday, you pay it back. Friday to Sunday, you pay it back. Wait until it clears, start using that card again. So if you're doing that 4 times a month, the value of what you're using is $1,200. If you're doing that for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you will get an increase by a couple of $1,000s.
Because the creditor, right, gets a percentage every time you make a purchase. right? So you become financially valuable to them by using that card as long as you do it
Yes.
with discipline, right?
Do it with discipline, but if you're that type of person that uses cash and debit don't get reported anywhere. The most that you can do for yourself is use what you have. If you see that you're doing pre-approvals and you're not getting approved, work with what you have. So make those your priority. Cut up your debit card, stash your cash in your bank account, make those payments constantly. Pay it off in full, start using it again.
Do you typically allow the line to naturally award you, or do you inquire with the company? Because I know sometimes they'll do a hard pull, even requesting.
There's only a handful of those companies that actually pull. I know that off the bat, Capital One, American Express, Discover, they don't do that. Probably Citibank does and Barclays does it, but in general, they don't.
Has that decreased over the last few years?
Yeah.
Because it used to be a hard pull almost every time. I know.
Yeah, no,
I know
it's
somebody.
not. It's soft pull.
I know somebody who had requested it once through Home Depot and then went through it again, and the next thing you know, they had gotten an inquiry. So
I haven't seen that Home Depot pulls anymore.
Really?
For an increase. For application, yes. But for inquiries, no. Like, an inquiry to increase the limit of the card.
as far as mortgages, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it the FICO 2, 4, and 5? There are special FICO scores for credit.
I think it just depends who you use, like Zactus, or it's what they provide. That's what the office uses. I work with so many offices that it just depends on what they use.
And you, I'm sure, have helped people not just repair their credit, but get all the way to the point of buying a home. What are some tips for those people?
You have to be very cautious of what you're spending and what you're using and what your main goal is. Are you looking to build your credit or get your credit where it needs to be to buy the home?
Right, that's two different scenarios,
There are two different
right?
scenarios and two different questions. So it's like, we got you where you need to be to get approved and to get a great interest rate. But are you comfortable enough to leave it that way so we can get you your home? You want to go in contract? Or are you looking to get to the next level and build? Because that building does take time.
Right.
A lot of people are in a rush right now. Well, the rates are a little bit more stable, or the house value is where they want it to be because they've been looking at this house for a year or two. It just depends on the concept of the client, what they're looking for.
Let's speak to the person that has established credit already and now wants to either buy a new home, whether it be for the first time or let's be honest, every time you start a real estate transaction, you start over. So many times like, oh, I've bought a house before. Well, you haven't bought your next house, and this is a whole new thing. So someone who's planning on making the move and has to ready their credit for another home purchase, where are you guiding them?
Be cautious of your spending. Don't try to apply for anything new right now. You are where you are and you're in a good position, but let's make you better so you can purchase. And let's look at your usage right now. Are you piggybacking off of anybody? Are you an authorized user on anybody's card that is maxed out? I've seen it happen a lot of times.
Right.
Maybe you might want to tell them to stop using the card, help them pay it down, take your name off of it. Know your options.
Yeah, and that's we're talking with somebody like yourself because there are extenuating factors, right? You could say,
Always.
all right, well, you've got a $10,000 limit and you're at 80% on that. Take me off of that. But wait a minute, that's an account that's 15 years old, and that's because correct me if I'm wrong, but
It decreases your
utilization
score.
and then
Yes.
age of account is important as well.
Yep, it does come into play because it comes into the limit of your whole value. So if you're using 80%, then it means you're using $8,000 and you want to probably bring it down to about $3,000 or $4,000. And that can make a very big difference on your score. So again, we have to be cautious of what we're using and what we're spending and how we're using and spending it.
It's almost like when you talk about credit, it all depends, right? I was just
always all depends.
I was just about to ask you, do you recommend people close accounts at any point? But
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's
Absolutely not.
That's not a depends. Don't close accounts.
If the accounts are in good standing and they're not going to get you anywhere. Like, let's say like your credit ones or your first premiers, these are the ones that you're getting to.
It's
establish your
everybody jumps on that bandwagon first, and now you're
Yep.
paying a perpetual $9 a month every month.
Pay that $9. But if you're not using the credit card, they'll eventually see it, and over a course of a couple of months, they'll close it themselves. That's always better because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. If you close the card and you come back to them in 7 months because you messed up and you want to, like use the credit card, and you want to build yourself again, they might say no. You closed the card. Why would we give it back to you?
Right.
As opposed to, hey, listen, I didn't need your card at the time, but why did you close it? I need it back. There's different circumstances there, but also your score plays a value in that as well.
Got it.
Everything matters.
So that was a hard no. I didn't
That was a hard no.
expect the hard no.
I
Okay.
don't allow customers to close accounts. You stop using it, you put it on the side, you cut it up, you make sure that you make your monthly payment on it for the annual fee, but try not to use it.
Do you have any particular types of cards that you prefer to refer over others?
I love my cashback. I love my miles. A lot of my clients just don't get that in the beginning, but eventually they do. I love Discover. I love American Express. Capital Ones are pretty much also the best, just to get them over the, get their feet wet, get them used to the whole world of credit, and stop using the cash and the debit, and they get a little amount, and then they build on it, and they see how it actually works.
What about secured cards or some of those programs?
I hate them.
You do?
I hate them.
Why?
Why? Because all the clients mess up on it. They don't realize that it's their own money, but how it actually reports and how you actually have to use it. And there's always a late payment within the first 6 months to a year.
Okay.
I try to get my client to that point where either one of two things. We get them to that point where we can get them their own credit card, and it might be like a First Premier or Credit One. Let's see what pre-approvals you get in the mail. I'd rather you have a regular credit card where you pay a higher annual fee, but it's a regular credit card. Or I'll say, hey, listen, you're not even getting approved for those. Let's get you as an authorized user on a credit card.
Right.
See if your family member has it. If not, we'll have you purchase one, which unfortunately they are a little bit more expensive. But with that, I always guarantee a regular credit card.
And for those who don't know, an authorized user is when somebody who has a card in good standing can put your name on it, and you'll essentially get credit for that
You're renting
person's
credit.
behavior.
You're renting, you're leasing credit for 30 days, for 60 days, for 6 months if you want, if you can afford it. I use it as a stepping stone, but I don't always offer it because I know according to what that customer comes in with, what we can do for him or her.
So safe to say, somebody out there who's maybe hesitating, perpetually renting because they're afraid of where their credit is, is it fair to say that there's not too many situations that are insurmountable, that somebody like yourself could come in with enough time and enough focus and enough collaboration, you could help them to get into their house, all things considered?
Absolutely. I've seen the craziest of files, but I would never back down on anybody. I like those files where they're really messy and there's a lot going on because it's like an onion. You have to get those layers off and you have to get it down to the core and figure out, hey, listen, this is what we have to do for this account. The client is getting mail on this. It's definitely like the picture of an onion. You have to take the layers off and you have to break it apart, and then we put them back together.
Give us a success story of somebody who maybe thought that it was a lost cause, but you were able to turn that around. They were able to make a major purchase, preferably a real estate purchase with the nature of the program here.
I have so many of them. Me, myself. But I'm going to actually give you military. The guy was in the military. He had a lot of issues with his girlfriend at the time, but he has a child from another woman. And there was he lives in Connecticut. It was actually out of state. And we did it. We filed lawsuits against all 3 bureaus. We got him into his dream home. And he is worth, I would say, $60,000 now because he stopped using cash.
Wow.
He doesn't even buy dinner. He doesn't even buy a cup of coffee with cash. Everything goes through the credit card. He's like, Rach, I have cash back that's worth $8,000. He uses everything through credit. And now he's like, I don't need a cosigner. I don't need to ask anybody for anything anymore. On the other hand, people come to me because now they think oh, now I get approved for everything. Another number one rule, we don't help anybody. We don't co-sign for anybody because they mess up. That's hurting you too.
Fair enough. Hear that out there?
Yes, we don't help
co-sign.
anybody. Family members, I've seen it before. Repos, they stop paying for the car. It falls back on you. You can't afford it. we don't help anybody.
Just makes your job harder.
It makes their job harder because they're like, listen, I thought this guy was going to pay and then he disappeared. He crashed the car. The insurance company, it's not only the car, it's the insurance company now that's going to come after.
Right.
Because you are the actual cosigner. They're not going to just come after the owner. You are a part of that car just as much as the original person.
Wow. Well, all great information.
Yeah.
I think if you're out there and you are just even wondering, am I in a good position? I think the consultation just absolutely makes sense, right?
Always.
So how could somebody get in touch with you?
Phone number, by Facebook, Instagram, email, all the contact info. My number is 917-440-8378. Credit Lift LLC. You can Google it. You can find us on the Better Business Bureau. Anything. All of those come directly to my office, and we don't turn anybody away. Just make a consult appointment, and we go through all the A's through Z's on your list.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being here today. And thank you for watching. This is the Dream is Real podcast. Hey, check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Dream Select Realty, on X at Dream Select Home. If you want to be part of the program, email us at hometeam@dreamselectrealty.com. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will see you next time. Remember, the dream is real.